All right. I wanted to go through, again, talking about lessons for us beginners in chess. And I really wanted to go through a couple of things that are really important for us to learn. Now, first of all, I'm doing this with the bots right now. So just let that be a for the record thing. Now, I'm looking at this position right here. This is me playing as black and against a bot here, like a level 900. So, for us beginners, that's a little challenging, But again, that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing chess for beginners here, and as a beginner. So what I want to look at here in this interesting formation we have here, just a couple tactics and how just to show you in this game how I won the game, but just to demonstrate some important, I think at least, some important tactics that should be considered when we play chess. So you'll notice I took that knight right there in my next move here. Why did I take the knight though? Because his bishop can just go ahead and just take my knight. My knight seems like it's hanging. Well, it seems like that if you're just kind of zeroed in and you're tunnel visioned in on this, what's going on here. The actual problem here is right now my bishop is actually protecting that knight. So if this bishop takes, which he eventually does, my bishop takes back. My bishop is looking, he's looking this way, but he's also looking right at that rook. That's the point of my bishop being right there. So you're going to see a couple odd moves from both teams. He does move the rook out of the way. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Then he finally takes, and that's when we take. And now look at this. We're looking. Whoops. We're looking right down at all this. This going on. That bishop's. It's in a pretty good, at least to me, I think, a fairly good situation. Not the best, but he's in a fairly good situation. So you see me castle right there. Um, just some weird moves. I'm looking at this and I'm going. My initial move right here was to look at that weak pawn right there and take that pawn, and then this rook. But there's a better move that I could make. First of all, let me just go before we go to there. Let's look at this. Pawn attacks knight, and so what I decided to do is I'm going to protect the knight, but I'm not just protecting the knight. So this is something that I want to do. Again, it's really important for us beginners here. When I made this move, it wasn't just about protecting the knight. I honestly thought, hey, go ahead and take the knight. I really want you to take the knight. The knight's not too strong right now. Go ahead and take the knight. I really don't care because I'm going to take your pawn. And when I take your pawn, you guess what happens? Fork. Check, fork. You will lose a rook. And you will also potentially lose a rook right over there. Because then the king's gonna have to move out of the way. I could take that rook. I could take that one if I wanted to. Whatever. Now, okay, so there's my move. Then white plays that. When he did this, I missed an opportunity here that would have been just fantastic. I missed an opportunity to get his queen. Can you see all of us beginners, us lower than 1,000 ranking, can you see how I could have got his queen in my next move? Can you see it? I mean, his queen is like, how are you going to get his queen? Well, if I did that, check, king moves, there she is, with no consequence to my queen. Look at this. My queen is protected. Well, not protected, but she's not under attack by anything. I could, my next move, I could take this bishop right here, and then I can go right here, and then now threaten this guy. If I took him, then I'm just gonna lose my queen. But that we don't want to do that. So there's when I was setting up this game in the analysis board, I realized I was like, dude, I could have taken out his queen right there, but I didn't. So I missed that because again, I was so focused on this, I didn't recognize. You see just what these tiny little moves, like a pawn move like this, can do. And these are things that all of us have to pay attention to when we're playing chess. Is paying attention to those. I didn't pay attention to it. I was just looking more at the rook. My mind was just thinking she's protected. There's no way I'm getting to that queen. When in reality, there was. So there you go. I'm attacking right there. Moves the knight right there. My next plan right there was just to begin setting up to attack this pawn, basically. But he does that, and then I go, oh, there's my opportunity. So I take, king moves. I take the rook. And the game goes on for a little while here. And then I made what I think was a bad move. I decided, hey, why am I attacking this when I can just go ahead and I might have a pass pawn right here, but I didn't notice the queen. I forgot the queen. There, I was looking right at him, and the queen takes. So there you go. Now I'm at a bit of a problem here. Not terribly bad. Whoops, not terribly bad. I mean, this is not a good idea. Not necessarily good. If the rook wasn't there, it wouldn't be good. It would be very bad. I'd be in a really, really bad spot. But nevertheless, I don't like this knight and this queen right here. Those two just basically right in my territory. So I'm going to have to give up a bishop to get rid of that knight. I lose, right there, and then, the rook comes down. It can come down. So again, was that the best move? Maybe not, but, there you go. The same results follow. If there's no checkmate because the rook's protecting. But I'm just like trying to be really cautious, really careful. I go ahead and take that guy right there, and see what we can do there. In my next set of moves here, my idea is I'm just being cautious. I've blundered before when I thought I was safe and I wasn't safe, and so I'm just trying to be cautious and get my king into a better spot where he's a little bit safer. He's much safer here. And then I get my rook start to compete with this line right here. Then he does this again. These subtle moves. Look at that. I wasn't paying attention to that. The idea here was to attack that, so he's attacking the rook and force my rook to move. But I don't think. Well, again, it's a bot, so the bot's not thinking like this. But if this was a real person, he probably wasn't thinking about that move right there. Now, why is that a move? It just put the rook in the line of fire? Not necessarily, because as soon as he does that, he loses the queen. If the queen goes here, she's lost. If the queen goes there, she's gone. If the queen goes here, she's gone. If the queen goes anywhere up here, she's gone. If the queen goes here, she's gone. So in other words, when I made that move, I realized that queen is trapped. There is nowhere for her to go. She takes, she's gone. And so there's literally like all of this right here is all protected. There's nothing that she can do. So I made that move knowing that nowhere that she goes is going to protect her. She's trapped. And I guess maybe that's the idea. He goes, well, my queen's gone, so just go ahead and lets her die. Could have just gone ahead and just taken out one of my rooks, made it a little bit easier for you, but you don't. So now I have a queen, I have a bishop, I have 2 rooks, 5 pawns versus 2 pawns, a rook, and a bishop. This is not going to end well. So anyways, so what I'm going to do here is, again, the tactic here. What am I doing here? Why am I checking the king? I know it's not a checkmate, so why do you check the king? Well, because you're forking right there. And now you're about to lose your other rook. Just like that. And look at this. Another check. And boom. Now, I changed the game when I first played this game. I did that so I could take that bishop out. And I did. But that doesn't get you checkmate. That made the game go even longer. And so in this analysis board version, I'm showing you the best move to end the game faster. Because if I don't take that bishop, well, certainly then the bishop's going to take my queen, right, Chase? Yeah, I got to take the bishop. Not if you do that. Because now the bishop can't do anything. Bishop can, if he wants to, block the check. But the king moves out of the way of the check, and then you take, and there's checkmate because all of that right there, it's all guarded. King can't go anywhere. It's checkmate. So again, just notice these tactics right here. That what we're doing here. Right here when he takes, you could almost flip out and go, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I put him? I gotta put him over here, right? It's safer. And I'm also, looking up this line right here. But I just took a moment. I sat and I thought, and I went, oh, that queen is actually right there. So there's nowhere for her to go. And now I got the queen. King moves that way, which set up the fork, by the way. If the king didn't move and he maybe just took right here, that would have been different. That would have been a different situation. Then if I checked, then the king could just take. But he doesn't. He moves there and forks, loses the rook, and then there you go right there. And there's an opportunity to take the bishop. So instead, we want to just end the game as quickly as we possibly can, and there you go. Then we take the bishop. There's checkmate. So demonstrating here, just showing you how to think about these kinds of tactics. So let's go back again once more, just really quickly to that opportunity I had with the queen. I just want you to see that again. Notice how that's now open right there, and then the queen is sitting right behind the king there. When you see the king should not really be in front of any pieces. Let's just put it that way. He should not be in front of any pieces at really any point in the game. He should be behind the pieces. So we could have just, again, right there, boom, taking the queen out that early in the game. And then our next move could have taken, the bishop right here and moved on to looking at this rook, that kind of thing. And the rook's basically trapped. The queen can maneuver in ways the rook can't in this small space, and you're going to lose that rook. So you would eventually lose that rook. But, so things like that, just always paying attention to how we can exploit those traps, even something as small as a little bishop move like that. I mean, a pawn move like that. But again, notice the bishop move right here. The point also with the bishop move was to not really be focused on this guy, but be focused on the fork opportunity right there to basically punish white if he takes your knight. And honestly, welcome the take. Just go ahead and take it. Now you're fort. And look at that. I'm looking at 2 rooks with my bishop. Which one do I take? The engine suggests I take him, but my issue with that was, and maybe he wasn't going to do it, is that he could just take right there, or maybe what I could do is just take the rook with the queen right there, offer possibly a queen trade. Boom. We could have done that either way, but I just went for that one because it was just the easiest one. There's the one without any real serious consequences to me, so I just took that one. And then there you go, there goes the game. But again, so notice right here, I want you to notice as well as what's also important is is you got to look at things like this, and you have to think about this. If right there, like if in his next move, let's say I didn't do that, let's say I did this, and then he takes like that, and then I'm in serious trouble. I'm in real trouble. You got a pawn coming down this way, you got a queen looking down right there, and you got a knight looking right there, and of course rook. Then I'm in real big trouble. So that's one of the reasons why I just basically it seems like I just threw away I threw a bishop. But I did it because I'm removing a potential and devastating attack. So when you're playing chess, it looks advantageous to me, right? Like I got the best advantage here. I mean, I know I could have done that and done the fork, king moves, and then take out the rook. But see, look how the game just shifted. It just balanced everything out again, just like that. Because white still has an attack at this point and it has some good positioning. So I decided what I was going to do is that I knew I've been checkmated like this before. A queen and a knight combination can be very deadly. So I decided get rid of the knight. I'm going to lose my bishop for it, but I'm going to get rid of the knight. That way he can't potentially have 3-4 attackers here. He's only got now basically 2, and I can protect that. With my king and my rook. So with that move removed, we'd also get rid of the pawn, and the queen is basically isolated out here all by herself. And so then after that, we just get our king to safety. The castle is all gone, and right there. And then we get rid of the queen. The attack's gone. Now it's just about finishing the game, and there you go. So just some tactics, as it were, knowing how to use tactics, putting pieces in places that will punish your opponent for making certain moves, and just basically choking them to death, as it were. So there you go.